All right. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. I'm Lando Petry with the On the House podcast. Got a great episode today. This is going to launch into our brand new coaching and mentoring series that we're going to do for all aspiring, seasoned, or individuals in real estate who are just looking to take that next step, whether you be a real estate agent or you're an aspiring loan officer. This is an outstanding series, compiled an entire booklet that I put together, composed, wrote from my own experiences, as well as other things that I've learned in my lengthy career in this industry, things that I've had from mentors, other coaches, and just personal experiences that I've seen or learned from individuals in my area who are dominating their local market. So, I want to start off with a few things here. As always, got a great hat on today. This was an awesome one sent to me from my sister. It's the Burlington Sock Puppets. So, pretty cool logo here. Thought it was appropriate, right? Day after the eclipse, kick things off, new fresh, new moon, all these things. Let's roll with it. So, the first thing I want to talk about is really the step one in anything that it wants to do when you want to decide how to mine for business, right? Prospecting and making connections and the thing is how you're going to grow your industry. And it has to start somewhere. And I'm going to be the first to tell you, right? Cold calling realtors, cold calling loan officers, other lines of business, it blows. It sucks. I mean, I've done it. Yes. Do I recommend you do it? Absolutely. Being told no, being rejected, all of those things, they happen for a reason. You get better at it. You do gain confidence in your script. You work on the things, you overcome objections. All of those things are benefits you do get from cold calling. It thickens your skin a little bit. We've all been there. But I'm not going to lie to you. It blows. It's terrible. You just get told no. You get hung up on. You leave a million voicemails. It's just not the best way to gain traction quickly. But there's an easier way that you can do something to limit the cold call, to start to naturally gain some traction in the industry and make some relationships without having to just pick up a phone book, go through and dial every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there to figure out what they're looking to do. And that's to understand how to isolate something called your sphere of influence. And I think understanding your sphere of influence starts by understanding what does that truly mean. It means not just family, not just friends, but business partners you've came in contact with, past clients, other businesses that you frequent in your area, social media connections, other people you have an interest with that you follow online, that follow you, that you have some kind of connection and some kind of familiarity. So we're going to talk about a few of those things and how to really understand it. But the key is you have to understand is the first thing is that we're not as big as we think we are, right? And what I mean by that is that people know what industry we work in, but they don't always know exactly everything we're able to do for an individual. Case in point, I've worked in mortgages my entire professional life, right? I have plenty of friends and family that don't know exactly what my day-to-day job is, and that the fact that I'm still licensed, there are things I still do. I can still speak to you financially, quote you rates, talk about other things. They don't understand that. They say, oh, you have this title, you're doing this, you're running these things, doing that. No, they have no clue. And that's my fault. I haven't kept them educated. I haven't made it a point in mind when I have conversations in there to ask certain questions. Well, same thing goes for those of us who may be brand new into the industry, maybe seasoned into the industry, and kind of lost track of the fact that some of those closest to us may not always remember what we do. But those closest to us have a relationship, they have a rapport. They're going to be the most comfortable individuals referring us to someone else. And the reason behind that is because they've got a sense of trust. They understand us. Let's look at one thing real quick. And let me say, anytime you're cold calling someone or anytime you're reaching out to a lead or someone who you haven't spoken to before, there are three things you have to understand. They will object to you if they don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you. You have to overcome those three things very quickly. Well, the easiest way to kick down that door is to have someone they know, they like, and they trust refer you to them. That's going to help them feel much more comfortable about the situation. So the first thing that I would do is I would start small and grow your sphere as you go and make sure that you understand that this is not just something you do one time. This is a technique that you're going to list out. You're going to take the time to build out and then you're going to rinse and repeat it. There are going to be a lot of things in this coaching session and these platforms that we talk about that are going to reaffirm daily actions and that you just keep going through and going through and going through and going through and you track. Tracking them is the key to success. If you don't track them, you can't find your numbers. Your numbers are going to lead you to results. At the end of the day, this is all about driving actions. Actions leads to results. The more actions I take, the more meetings I can set up, the more people I can get in forward, the larger I'm going to grow my body, my sphere of influence, which means I'm making more connections. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start by getting a pencil and paper. And we're going to go through friends and family. You're going to write down all the names. Think of it. People you talked to and you went to college with, friends from high school, coworkers you work with, friends of your significant other, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your wife, your husband, aunts, uncles, people along those lines that you know naturally, guys you play basketball with, people at the bar, anyone and everyone that you talk to on a daily basis and have a social relationship with them. Those are going to be your first individuals, right? Then you're going to take the next step out of that. You're going to branch out individuals that you have some kind of a connection with, a relationship with, but you may not be as close as your inner sphere. You're going to identify who those individuals are. That's going to also include past clients, right? Friends that you've worked with at previous jobs, places that you may have frequented in the past. You're going to start with those things. You're going to list out all these names. Then you're going to go to your social sphere. You're going to look at who are your Facebook friends? Who are your friends on Instagram, TikTok, people you speak to, people you have a dialogue back and forth? Hell, for me, I've got a large fantasy football league and other stuff that I do with daily fantasy. I would reach out to those individuals, talk to them, other things, and let them know. And it's very simple. The conversation's easy. Hey, we're getting into the busy season. I know a lot of people right now are looking to buy houses. Families are on the move. Just curious, do you guys know anyone who's interested in buying a house, has spoken about it? I'd love to talk to them, see if I could help them. Do you know have any real estate agents who are friends? We're getting into the busy season. Want to see if there's something I can do to help benefit them and grow their business. I'd be really appreciative if there's anyone, if I could get in contact with them and just kind of reach out. I want to help them. But you have to have that conversation with them. Now, I'm not saying you just call these people and dive right into someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Be cordial, be polite. How are you doing? How are you going? Right? Make the conversation matter. But it's not as scared as calling someone you've never spoken to before, right? It's going to be that warm introduction. So what I want you to do is you're going to pick a day of the week and you're going to have this list made out. Step one is make the list. And I want you to think of anyone and everyone you can. The more calls you have, the more at bats you get. And then you're going to set a day of the week. It all depends on what your time frame is, right? And what group these people fall in, right? I'm going to tell you the best time to reach an individual is typically going to be Wednesday or Thursday from 4 to 5. You have a 164% better chance reaching someone late afternoon between the hours of 4 to 5 on a Thursday than you do with connecting that individual at 4 to 5 on a Monday or a Tuesday. Think about what they're getting into to work, they're settling in, where they're at. Thursdays, typically the least populated day as far as a schedule of the work week. You're getting ready to get into the weekend. You're more work settling down. You're kind of winding down. It's a little easier time to connect with them. So I want you to think about the time frames that you're going to reach out to them. The other thing is being that these individuals are someone that you have a relationship and you have a contact with, I'm also not above being able to shoot them a text. Hey, wanted to reach out, chat real quick, see how you're doing, ask a couple questions, see if you knew anyone who was looking to buy a house. Really trying to see if I can make some connections, help out some new people, right? Don't be afraid to send those items out to them. But you have to have these conversations. And the first step is after you have these conversations, you're going to check off who did I reach? Who did I not reach? Who did I leave a voicemail with? How many calls did I make in that day? Right. And from that, you need to then track how many referrals did I receive or how many phone numbers of someone that I could reach out to did I get? Right. Whether that maybe be an email address, a phone number, someone you can reach out to. And then you're going to set time and a strategy to call those individuals. Well, at this time, now you have a warm introduction, right? I'm going to reach out, call someone. If I know an agent and it was referred to me by my friend Trevor, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to use some humor. I'm going to try to have some fun with it, right? I may call and be like, hey, Scott, this is Lando Petry. We work in the same industry. I understand you're a buddy of Trevor's. He's a buddy of mine. I feel totally sorry for you. Wondering if I could pick your brain about a few things. Maybe we could grab a beer sometime, see if we can't help each other out now that we're about to get busy. And I'm going to leave it at that, or that's going to be my introduction. Commiserate about having a mutual friend busting their chops, laughing about some things, right? Whatever it may be, try to have an introduction with that. I may not tell them exactly what I do for a living. Hey, we've got a mutual friend. He said we should probably connect, thinks we could do some things to help us both be more successful. Love to grab a coffee, see if you have 5 minutes, grab a beer, whatever it may be, have a quick Zoom call, whatever we can do. Any of those things may be the case, right? The other thing is that, if you find someone that, they said, hey, so-and-so at my work is looking to be able to buy a house or something like that, call the individual. Hey, my name is Lando Petry. I'm a good friend of Kevin's. I understand that you guys are interested in buying a house. He's thought you might have some questions. Gave me your number, said, he thinks it'd be great if I reach out and maybe we can just see, if we can help you answer some questions, put you guys on a customized plan to really maximize your buying power. If you'd be interested to speaking, I'd love to give you a call. And you can go through and reach out to those things and those individuals. It's a warm introduction. That person's going to focus on the point that, hey, I know Kevin. Kevin's my bud. Kevin trusts you. I want to give you a call. See what you have to say. The whole time you do this, you have to be honest, right? You have to know who you are. I have to be true to myself. I understand that I'm a chill guy. I'm not going to use big jargon. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. I like a relaxed approach. That's going to be the way that I speak, right? If I know that we have a mutual friend, I'm totally going to make a joke about us having a mutual friend. Man, what a bummer. And, use that, right? Because that's how I am. I like to laugh. I like to have fun. I'm going to use that introduction to get in the door. But you have to understand who you are, right? Be that individual. But you have to track these events and these actions and then follow up. The other way that it's going to allow you by tracking these things is to isolate the times that you're calling. Find out, hey, are there individuals within this sphere that I'm not reaching at certain times? What do I need to mix up? When's a better time to connect with these people? Whether it be real estate agents you are referred to. But as you're asking these questions in your sphere, remember, it doesn't just have to be real estate agents. Just because you're looking to partner with an agent or you're an agent looking to get in front of some lenders and other things, there are other individuals in this industry that are massive referral sources. People that work at title companies. Who knows them, right? They constantly have referral businesses, right? Financial advisors. So many people save up to buy a house. They're downsizing. They want to buy a new house, live off their fixed income. As terrible as it sounds, divorce attorneys are a fantastic resource. Someone's keeping the home, needs to refinance it. Someone's looking to buy a new home with the equity they're pulling out of that. While that's a touchy subject, it is a good individual that you could reach out to. And to be honest with you, it's not something that a lot of other people are looking at as a main source in the real estate world. Another one that, once again, it sounds a little sad. Funeral directors, as bad as it is, there's a lot of times that families are left in an issue and things have to go through probate. They need someone to guide them on the way of either selling that property, hey, putting this property into my name, refinancing it, fixing it up, what all of those things are. And sometimes a family at that point in time is just looking for someone to give them some honest advice and be considerate of the situation they're in. Those are all things to think about. Wedding planners are a fantastic one, right? We're entering into a point in time where the largest group of millennials are hitting what they're calling the family creation stage of their life. And what that means is that they're getting married, they're having their first child, or their family is increasing in size. So that group of population is at the largest time where we see a change in their status of home ownership. When people get married, what do? They buy a house. It's typically one of the first things they do once they get married, right? Honeymoon, and then they buy a house. Well, what a great way with someone they're trusting to plan their wedding, do other things like that. Also be able to give them some advice on someone that may be able to guide them down the path of finding the house to their dreams and how to finance this house, right? The other thing to think about is think about your friends who recently got married, your friends who were in weddings, things like that. These are all great ways to call. These are all the people, but certain industries are going to be able to be reachable at other times. So I want you to think about these things. And the other thing is track the results because you don't have to be brand new to this industry for this to work for you. So I'll be honest, once a week, every week, I meet with a few aspiring loan officers who are going through this program right now that are trying to grow their sphere of influence. Two of these individuals are brand new. They've been in the industry for less than 4 months. They just passed their test. So the last 60 days, what we've been doing is building out and growing their sphere of influence. They've both made about 135 calls now. Now, out of this, they've gotten about 35 introductions to individuals that they've been able to meet. Out of those 35 introductions, they've set up 15 face-to-face meetings, whether that's with a buyer, whether that's with a real estate agent, or another individual in an industry that they're willing to partner with. Okay, they've had several follow-up meetings, and each of them have about 4 applications. Okay, now those applications are not yet into contract, they're not moving forward. But those 4 applications are a starting point for the next venture of them to then be able to follow up with the people in process, ask for their referrals, things like that. But that's 4 more than they've had year to date, right? Since starting this, tracking it and driving the action and only asking them to reach out to the individuals they know. Now, of course, we can go over some scripting. We go over some cadences, when to call, what to talk, sending a text message, leaving a voicemail, all of those things. There's some strategy, right? If I was going to do this, I'm not trying to bug the individuals that I know and care about, but the first time I'm going to call, I'm probably not going to leave a voicemail. Why? I want to force that individual to call me back, right? If it's a business that I'm calling to speak to someone at the business, I won't call, I'm not going to leave a voicemail. I may try to call them back the next day or a little later in the evening and those things. If it's a friend and I give them a call, don't leave them a voicemail, I'm going to follow up with a text message, 20, 30 minutes later about why I was calling, see if they can drive some action. Any of those things, right? I'm going to offer other solutions to, hey, if you're getting together, I'd love to buy you guys both a beer, see if I can make an introduction, shake his hand, get to know him. Those types of things. There's different strategies to how you're going to do this versus like working leads and things that you're buying, right? Because this is a relationship that you've already had. So of course, there's some cadences and some things that will work in your area that you need to bill out. But the key step is this is step one. Because what I'll tell you, the most important thing out of all of those phone calls they made, and we're not done, they haven't reached everyone. There's people to follow up, there's people to stay in touch with, stay in front of mind of, have those questions. But now they've got 4 individuals each who, during the whole duration of their home shopping program or process, they have the absolute best referral source. Because if you think about it, when someone's closed on their loan, asking them at the time they closed for if they know anyone to buy a house or interested in buying a house, not what they're thinking about. Their mind is racing. Oh man, I got to move all this stuff in. When are the movers going to be there? Did I file the proper paperwork with the school? When do I get these, utilities switched over into my name? They've got a million other feelings rushing through their brain because they just finished the closing on their brand new home. But guess what they're thinking of the entire time? The process, while they're in process, while they're shopping for a house. Hey, you guys know anyone else who's interested in buying or anyone at work that may be talking about it? That's when it's topic of mind, right? It's the whole theory of thinking about what they say, like, I want to go buy a brand new blue Toyota. Every day I drive to work through Columbus, I don't see any blue Toyotas. But the moment I go to the lot to shop for a blue Toyota, when I leave, guess what I see? A million different blue Toyotas. It becomes those things that I wasn't focusing on it now, but now because it's top of mind, it's all I see, it's all I hear, it's all I notice. Well, the same thing goes for individuals who are going through a process. They start to hear, see, and find others going through that same process. Or we focus more on people asking questions or the conversations individuals are having about the goals they're looking to accomplish, such as buying a house. So during the process, when people are in process, is a fantastic time on every conversation to ask them, hey, is there anybody else you guys know looking to buy, anyone at work? If you have anyone, let me know because it's top of mind. So those 4 referrals are going to give them better opportunities to make a connection with someone looking to buy a house than a lot of the other people they're cold calling that are already in the home or who may not focus on it at the same level of intent because they're not going through the process. And we all know the easiest way to get a referral, the easiest way to make a connection is to have someone ready to buy a house to do that introduction, whether that's bringing someone that wants to look for a house that needs to get pre-approved to a new lender you're interested in working with, or being a lender and knowing someone I have pre-approved that doesn't have an agent that connects them to an agent that you're trying to work with to give them the experience that they can have working with you. And also let them know, hey, I'm coming into this with us having the intent of on the right foot. We both are going to make some more money than we otherwise would have. And then we do our introduction from that. So all of those things of maximizing your sphere of influence and identifying these individuals is a great way to start to grow your referral base organically and then lead that to more client connections. So a couple things to take away. The first thing is make the list. Think big. Nobody's off limits. Call, talk, leave voicemails, ask around, right? Track your work, track your list, make the names, mark how many times you've called, the connections you've made, the appointments you've set, the follow-ups you've had, the results you've gotten from those things. And the other thing is too, just simply because you call through the list, we don't stop. This is something that I would tell you while you're starting in the industry or starting this program, you're starting to work for it, that you do one day every week. You set up time. And when you set the time to do this, it's a non-negotiable. I'm not going to make plans to go out with the guys. I'm not going to do this unless it's something that is absolutely imperative to your family or your business. That time that you set forward to do these things and to mine this sphere needs to be something that has your direct focus. Email off, cell phone down. You're working on doing these things. That will allow you to be attentive, give the full focus, and you'll be at your best. The other thing that I encourage you to do this is with it, when you start off and you're starting with the individuals that you're the closest to, your friends, your family, ask for feedback. Hey, how did it come off? Did I sound needy? Did I sound this? Getting some honest feedback is a great way to hone your craft, right? We all are going to be nervous at first, the first time we do something, right? It's the individual, it's just human nature. But as you get better at it, you find the way, get some scripting, right? We can look at scripting, any of these things. These are all things available for you. So as you work on this, if you're interested in learning more about this, DM me, hit me up on YouTube, send me a link, hit me up on Instagram. I'm happy to give you some ideas. I can email you some scripts. We can talk about the next steps and how to go deeper in doing these things for you. But this is simple, tried and true tactics that individuals who lead our industry have work on all the time and teach to their mentors or mentees. So by all means, guys, go out there, be aggressive, go after it, put it into play. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know. You guys have a good one.